The Legend Story Studios homepage has so much depth and symbolism that I really wanted to make a video talking about it. So my name is Bronson, and before I get any of those comments saying, "Hey, Bronson, why don't you just email him and ask what it means?" Yeah, just do that and you'll figure it out. I don't want to do that because it would really ruin the fun for me analyzing it and trying to figure stuff out for myself. I mean, you could say the same thing about Easter. Like, why don't the parents just put all the eggs in a basket and give it to their kids when they wake up in the morning? Because there's no fun to that. You don't have any fun if you're not searching and actively figuring it out. So that's just my take. You can do what you'd like. So this is just an initial impressions for the last 2 months that I've figured out so far. Now, the image on the right, let's get into this. The image on the right, this is definitely James White. Like, for sure, this giraffe mage is James. And what really solidifies this is James constantly talks about Kano and how underpowered he was in one video, and he has a Kano deck. And he has talked about how in like the Arcane Rising release notes that he's always loved the wizard type of archetype, and that's his thing. So I know that that is a representation of James. And what's interesting too is look, he has a bunch of these card looking things. And at first I was like, like what does that mean? It looks like a bunch of papers. But it's definitely the game of Flesh and Blood, the core mechanics. So he's holding up like, hey, he develops all the cards and the mechanics behind the cards. He is the card man, right? He figures that stuff out. And then also, if you'll notice, this big giraffe has this pole right here with a direction thing. And this symbolizes that he is the CEO. He is the direction man of the whole Legend Story Studios company. He figures out where they're going to go and steers the ship. He's the steering the ship guy. Now, I think that's all I have so far. The one big thing I'm trying to figure out is this this growth in the back of the giraffe's head. Now, I do not know what this is. I'm trying to figure that out now, but I'm sure that there's some going on there. Next is we have Robbie Wen. Now, I don't know if you know Robbie Wen, but he is the director of the creative stuff. So any of the lore and all that stuff, he's kind of the creative director of what the past and the present lore is for the game. And it's you can tell that from the ink quill right here that he's holding. Definitely meaning he's writing writing the lore and stuff. So that is a big tell. Now another piece I found out is so he has a knight's helmet. Maybe he likes the warrior class. Maybe that's kind of his thing. I don't know. That's me guessing. That's not much of based on fact. It's just a guess. And what I think is interesting too is he's like a pumpkin or a gourd or maybe a cactus. He's some sort of plant. I don't know. I know that there's some sort of inside joke there. I know there's probably some inside jokes and a lot of this picture that only Legend Story Studios knows, and I don't know if they would release. But that's kind of interesting that I thought so there. And then also you'll see that he's under him is like this all these mechanical whatnot and gadget things. And this next point is just gonna blow your mind. So I made another video that talked about the different cities and all that stuff in Welcome to Wrath or the regions, what have you. And if you look at that, that is definitely metrics underneath Robbie. And then look what is under James. It's Volcor. And in my video, I talked about how the opposites are Metrix and Volcor. They are polar opposites. And this is just such a cool thing that they put in there. It's such symbolism, guys, because like Robbie is more of the creative director with the lore and all that, the backstory there, while James is the mechanics of the game, the actual playing the game of Flesh and Blood. And I thought it was so cool how they took like the writing and the lore and the mechanics and the cards, and they put them like polar opposites. And it really speaks to the fact that both of these people, they respect each other. Like Robbie sees like, hey, this is my camp, I'm really good at this. James is like, hey, this is my camp, I'm really good at making the cards and doing the mechanic things, and both together intertwine into making Flesh and Blood and Legend Story Studios great. Now, I mainly focused on James and Robbie because that is really the main parts that I've pieced out so far. But you'll notice too is there's a lot of stuff going on in the background. I'm sure like MJ and Nikki are in here. I don't want to pinpoint things yet because I don't want to be wrong. I don't want anybody, but like I definitely see like this is creating these different creatures, and then we have this person over here looks like the internet person, so that's probably the person who is tweeting back on Twitter, and then I don't know who this person is and who these people are. I mean, possibly Chris or Jason right here. No idea. But long story short is there's a lot of depth into this. And another really cool thing that I noticed too is in the background, the world is the different places in the world of Wrath. So I forgot which one this one is, but there's definitely Solana's coming up here. This is Solana that's rotating thus far. And then you have a bunch of other different regions I haven't fully pieced out yet. But yeah, you definitely see that this is Solana and then this is the world. So I just think it's really cool how there's so much symbolism in this homepage. And it really speaks to the fact that Flesh and Blood has a lot of hidden things and deeper meaning. You're not just going to see a pretty picture. There's more to it behind that. So I just wanted to make this video, and I definitely want to make a follow-up video explaining more that I find out. This is everything I've found out thus far, and yeah, let me know what you think. And hey, if you found something that I didn't find, please comment below. I'd love to learn more about it. But other than that, yeah, thanks for watching.